Oh my God.
What?
Whatever that is, it is walking across the forest. It's huge. This is the biggest heat signature I've ever seen. It's huge. And now there's another one to the left. There's multiple creatures walking over there.
What the is going on?
Russell, I've never seen a heat signature this big, and there's at least 4 of them.
What the
Minutes ago, in the depths of a remote forest, a chilling scene unfolded as 4 massive creatures closed in on Mireya, an intrepid researcher from the Expedition Bigfoot team. Armed only with a thermal camera, she captured these daunting figures on her screen, their large, eerie forms moving steadily closer through the dense underbrush. Heart pounding, she stood frozen, the ominous crack of twigs underfoot signaling their approach. Every nerve was on edge, the silent forest air thick with impending danger. Let us discover what lurks in the shadows. Are these the legendary beasts she's been searching for? Thermal cameras and terrors in the wilderness. Ronnie decided to explore different parts of the lake to cover more ground. They split up, each with a thermal camera, to search for anything unusual in the forest. As they moved deeper into the woods, an eerie sound echoed through the trees.
What?
Soon, both of them saw strange, large shapes on their thermal devices. On her screen, 4 large figures seemed to be moving towards her location.
There are multiple huge heat signatures in front of me.
Just as he called her to come back, her screen showed a figure lifting something like an arm, and then everything went black. The team has clear roles. She and he are tasked with exploring the northern and southern shores of a remote mountain lake. Their goal is to move through the thick forest and try to scare the creature out towards the open shoreline. The team thinks the lake might be the main water source for the creatures they're looking for. Russell is in charge of the operation, hoping that as she and he approach the lake from different sides, they will push the creature out into the open where it can be more easily spotted. He controls a drone using an iPad, scanning the area for any signs of heat that could indicate the creature's presence. The Expedition Bigfoot team wasn't just equipped with advanced technology like thermal cameras and his drone, they also had a well-planned set of safety measures. From the beginning, he made it clear that safety was the top priority. Before splitting up to explore the lake, they made sure each member carried long-range radios so they could easily communicate if anything went wrong. They also had GPS devices allowing him to track her in his exact locations at all times, something critical in such a dense, dark forest. The team also had sound alarms they could trigger to scare away any creature that got too close. This level of preparation was essential since the environment was full of uncertainty. Although everyone was excited about what they might find, he didn't want excitement to cloud anyone's judgment. It's always better to be prepared for the worst, even when you're hoping for the best, he told them before the exploration began. His words echoed in her mind as she listened to the unsettling noises in the woods. She knew she had to stay alert and follow the safety protocols they had discussed earlier. On her side, she carefully walks through the dark, dense woods, noticing how the branches seem bent and twisted, possibly a sign that something large has passed through recently. The path is so dim that she can only see a few inches ahead. At the same time, he faces his own challenges. The forest floor is littered with fallen branches and twigs, making it difficult to walk without tripping or getting hurt. He moves carefully, trying not to stumble. Both of them keep in touch with him.
I can only describe it like a black silhouette walking past.
Sharing their locations and sending updates from their thermal cameras, which helps him keep track of their progress. The sound of branches snapping gets louder, moving closer with every second. She stands frozen, trying to figure out where it's coming from. But something strange is happening. The noise isn't coming from the ground, it's from above. This changes everything. Without wasting time, she grabs her radio to call him and him. She tells them about the strange sounds and how it feels like something is getting closer, even though there's no wind, but the leaves are falling around her. She asks if they've noticed anything odd. He responds, but his news isn't reassuring, nothing unusual on his side. She is torn between fear and curiosity. Should she stay or go? She chooses to stay, but stays alert, knowing she can't let her guard down. Meanwhile, he carefully approaches a lake, moving slowly so as not to break the forest's eerie silence. Out of nowhere, he hears strange noises near the water. He quickly radios him, sharing what he's hearing and asking if he sees anything suspicious on his monitors.
I'm hearing some noise heading towards the water. Are you seeing any activity down there?
He can't see much. The thick forest blocks his view, and this only makes him more worried. He advises him to back away from the lake, warning him to keep a good distance.
I want to make sure that you guys are in a safe configuration.
So back away from the water at this point, just for a little bit.
He agrees and moves to a safer spot. Every sound in the forest now feels amplified, making everyone more nervous. The team feels the unknown closing in around them, and with no clear path forward, they have to rely on each other and their instincts. They know one wrong move could lead to trouble. But this wasn't the worst part. The darkness of the forest seemed to swallow them, and every step felt like it could be their last. Despite the fear, the group is driven by determination. They can't turn back now, not when they're so deep into their mission. But the question lingers. What else is waiting for them in the shadows? As she moved away from the lake, she raised her binoculars and noticed something moving in the forest. It was hard to tell what it was because there was no heat signal. This made her feel both excited and nervous, thinking they might be onto something big, but at the same time, she was worried about what dangers might be ahead. She quickly reached out to him to let him know what she saw. All she could describe was a dark figure moving by. The team digs deeper into the dark forest, facing new challenges. Researchers face mystery in the dark forest. After hearing her report, he told her to step away from the shoreline and move toward the trees. He thought it would be safer to stay away from the lake since visibility was poor and the movement in the distance was unclear. She agreed and began to back away from the water. At the same time, he felt uneasy about the whole situation. He couldn't see anything in the dark woods either. Meanwhile, he, who was also nearby, started to hear more cracking noises in the forest. He radioed him to ask if the sounds were still there.
Are you still getting sounds?
He confirmed that he heard something to his left, describing it as a soft, repeated noise.
I'm hearing something to my left. I heard it again, and it's moving very quietly.
It seemed like whatever was making the sound was trying to stay hidden, but he had a different idea. He thought the creature might be following him and urged him to leave the area quickly and contact him once he was far enough away. While this was happening, she kept looking through her binoculars, still unable to get a clear view, but her reaction suggested something important might be out there. Still, this wasn't the most troubling part. She mentioned that she had just spotted a massive heat signature, the biggest one she had ever seen.
This is the biggest heat signature I've ever seen. It's huge.
But that wasn't the only surprise. She noticed even more heat signatures, meaning there were several creatures moving around in the forest just 100 yards away. For the research team, this was both worrying and exciting. They had no idea what these creatures were or if they were dangerous. Yet it was thrilling because it hinted at the possibility of an entire group of these unknown beings, a discovery that could be groundbreaking. Excited by her findings, she quickly radioed him, letting him know about the big discovery right across from her location in the thick woods. Her voice was full of excitement as she talked about not just one, but possibly several creatures hiding among the trees. The idea that they might have stumbled upon a whole population of these creatures was an exciting possibility. "Head to your right, okay?" she directed, concentrating on the forest in front of her. Suddenly, she noticed something moving. "I see something ahead, behind that tree," she reported, her voice a mix of caution and curiosity. She explained how the creatures seemed to be moving carefully through the forest, occasionally peeking out from behind trees. She repeated what she saw to make sure he understood the situation clearly. Meanwhile, he was trying to spot her from above, but the thick tree cover blocked his view. Even with the help of a drone flying overhead, he couldn't see her or the creatures she was describing. She confirmed what she had seen earlier, adding that there were at least 4 distinct heat sources now. But then something concerning happened. Her voice shifted as she said she had lost sight of 2 of the creatures.
Worrying me is I've lost sight of 2 of them. I've got 2 in front of me now.
Now, with only 2 left in view, she began to wonder if these beings were smarter than they had thought. Maybe they were moving with purpose, which could mean they were predators. The fact that some of the creatures had vanished suggested they might be clever like most predators that hunt alone. She is getting more and more nervous about the creatures because they can see in the dark much better than she can. They can spot her and the cameraman easily, while she can't even see them. He, knowing how dangerous this could be for her, contacts him to update him on what's happening. He shares his fears about her risky situation and tells him to get to her as fast as he can. As she walked through the forest, every small sound made her more nervous. It felt as if the silence itself was filled with danger. Fear started to creep into her mind, making her question if she was truly hearing or seeing strange things, or if it was just her imagination playing tricks on her. At that moment, she remembered his words. The most important thing here is not to lose your cool. Fear can make us see things that aren't there or make bad decisions. But when fear is strong, even sensible advice like that can be hard to follow. Fear doesn't just affect what you hear or see, it changes the way you think. She began to feel unsure, thinking that any sudden movement could be a threat. The sound of snapping branches made her freeze, her heart racing. Although she tried to calm herself, the fear made every shadow seem larger and more dangerous. She knew that if she didn't control her nerves, she might make a mistake. In the darkness of the forest, with something moving around her, fear kept growing. She wondered if the creatures could sense her fear too, if they knew she was scared. The tension wasn't just affecting her, but also her communication with the team, making things more stressful. He, on the other hand, also began to feel anxious. Although he didn't admit it openly, every step deeper into the forest seemed to take him further from safety. He knew he had to control his fear because if he didn't, he could make a serious mistake. His words about how fear could be the greatest danger echoed in his mind. He tried to stay calm, but when you don't know what's around you and you hear strange noises, fear takes over. He felt that if he gave in to the fear, the danger would become even more real. The team had trained for situations like this, but nothing had fully prepared them for what fear could do to their minds. Fear makes you feel like everything is against you, and even though they knew they should follow the safety protocols, it was harder than it seemed. She and he constantly reminded themselves not to run or make rash decisions because fear can lead to exactly that, acting without thinking. However, despite their efforts, both of them felt like the forest was alive, watching them, and that something terrible could happen at any moment. In the end, fear was their biggest enemy at that moment. He says he got the message and is on his way, but he stays alert knowing the creatures might have already seen him even though he's still across the lake. They could be sneaking up on him without him knowing. She faces strange sounds and growing danger, testing the team's courage. Lethal noises. Signal danger for Mireya. Suddenly, she hears a strange noise right in front of her.
What was that?
She freezes for a second, then starts calling out for him, hoping it's him making the noise, but as it gets louder, she keeps shouting, asking if he's coming closer. To her horror, he calls back from the other side of the lake,
I'm still on the other side of the lake.
telling her he hasn't moved at all. That means the creatures are making the sound and they're getting closer to her. Fear rushes through her as she tries to look around with her binoculars, but she can't find anything, not even heat signals. It's as if the creatures are hiding on purpose. She remembers the noise earlier near some fallen logs and thinks those might have been set up to keep people away. At first, she wonders if he is just playing a trick on her, but then he confirms that he is still about a quarter mile away. There's no way it could be him. He advises her to slowly move away from where she is, warning that there could be more dangers she doesn't see yet. As she starts to backtrack, the strange noises get louder and closer. Now fully on edge, she turns to her cameraman, asking him what could be making these sounds. Both of them feel the tension rise, hoping that it's nothing serious, but fearing the creatures are about to show themselves. But that wasn't the worst part. As they keep moving, the sounds follow them, becoming more frequent. It's clear something is out there and it's getting closer by the second. He feels uneasy hearing the loud noises coming from the forest. At 5 minutes past 10 in the morning, she gives him a call to check if he's doing okay, and he assures her that he's fine. By 8 minutes past 10, he's on his way to meet her. Just 2 minutes later, at 10:10, the two teammates find each other and let him know they're together. He is relieved, reminding them that it's safer to stick together as a group. As they continue to move, he and she quietly whisper to each other, both aware they're not alone in the forest.
Hey, see if anything's there.
I don't think we're alone in these woods right now.
This realization stirs excitement not just for them, but also for the fans of the show Expedition Bigfoot. Viewers are thrilled about the possibility that there might be more than just one creature out there. Could the team be close to a huge discovery? Perhaps a new species that could challenge humans in intelligence. But this wasn't the only thing on their minds. While the idea of finding a new species is exciting, it also brings some fear. What if these creatures are dangerous? He and his team have had close calls before with what they believe could be Bigfoot. They move carefully, staying away from areas where they think the creature might be because no one really knows how dangerous it could be. Though they've caught a few sightings on video, the creature is always blurry and unclear. This only makes their mission more difficult. The team, however, is determined. They want to prove once and for all if Bigfoot is real or just a myth people have believed for generations. What do you think? Could Bigfoot really exist? And what might that reveal about undiscovered creatures living among us? If you enjoyed this thrilling exploration, don't forget to like and subscribe for more mysteries and adventures.